Welcome back to No Substitutes, the show where I have some of my favorite people on and we talk about what ingredients make them who they are. And today I have a very special guest. He's, in my opinion, one of the most talented actors from adult film. He was actually one of the first male talent that I worked with. And he's a very talented musician. Please welcome Chad Alva.
Thank you. I'm feeling flattered already.
Yay, good. That's always my go-to is try to butter them up and then make them feel, we'll see where this goes.
It's a nice toasty way to start.
Yeah. Toasty. Well, how are you?
Feeling very nice.
Feeling very nice off that coffee bean.
It's good. Yeah.
Nice.
It's just a good Tuesday morning, It's a good week.
Oh, yeah, it is Tuesday. I feel like days don't, I don't know. I feel like days don't exist. Not only in adult, but in LA.
I think those both contribute. Yeah. It's a playground, two different types of playgrounds with no rules, no weekdays. You're right.
Exactly. Olivia and Marin now, the only reason I know what day of the week it is Tuesday is when an episode drops, and then all my civilian friends have actual jobs. Mm-hmm. So does
a lot of stuff close at 8 p.m. and nothing's open on Sunday, maybe not on Mondays either.
Exactly. It's if I really wanted some more adventure, I could drive to the city, but I'm so cozy in my little sea town, so we're good.
Stay relaxed.
Yeah, stay relaxed. How was the drive over?
Traffic sucked, but this is Los Angeles, so what do you expect?
I know. It's okay.
But it was my mistake. For some reason, I was under the impression that it was in NoHo, and it's not in NoHo.
It's a little bit. No, it's Sherman Oaks.
NoHo.
NoHo. It ain't in NoHo. Yeah, that's true. That would be ideal, though. I mean, our ideal location is
Studio City.
Yeah. Well,
or Burbank.
Where's
and that's
that studio?
Very close to where I live.
Studio City.
Toluca Lake.
Oh, okay.
Nice
I was not at all on the same wavelength of that question.
Real nice
Sorry.
I mean, Studio City would be great for any studio, but I'm thinking of the studio we want to take over.
Yeah.
Of our friends.
Right.
Of our friends that aren't good friends.
And you want a jacket from them?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, let's dive into it.
Okay.
What are 3 ingredients you would need for your profession?
Well, I'll try to remember what I put in the email. I think I said number 1 would be to be committed.
Ooh.
So if you don't commit your all to it, then it might not turn out right.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like to be a male talent, so I feel like it's a lot easier for girls to get by just being just show up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but I think you might be onto something, at least in contrast. You know?
No, for sure. It's very different. Okay, so that's 1.
Okay. I think I said one of them. I think this is the least important of 3, but it's to be personable.
That's the least important. I guess, yeah. You are acting.
Of the 3 that I listed, because there are a lot of people who go very far in our industry.
Yeah.
Who aren't that nice. There's
true.
There's a handful.
Yeah.
And I think part of being personable is being very polite and considerate and knowing how to read people and being empathetic and sort of trying to feel what everyone is feeling.
Yeah, but not necessarily those. Yeah.
And there's there's a fraction of people I've met over the years who I wouldn't say excel in that category, but still do great. You know what I mean?
Well,
for themselves.
I noticed the first time I met you that you do excel at that, and it made me have pretty good standard, I felt like, for other male talent I worked with. So thank you for being one of those people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the third.
You got that? You got those answers,
Yeah,
Andy?
actually,
what was the other
I
one?
had them pulled up because one of them I wanted to make sure you didn't forget because it was like the first time we got it. And there's actually two of them. One of them was reliable. And I feel like that's so important. There's a lot of people who like are struggling. And I was like, well, you're not reliable. So I kind of get why you're struggling.
I think I may have originally written in committed and then changed it to reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of the same category. But yeah, I think that's the most important. Everyone needs to be able to rely on you, directors, producers, your coworkers, and yourself, So, yeah.
There was also one more that we've never gotten before because we end up getting a lot of the same answers.
Right.
And that's also pretty interesting.
Okay.
But the other new one that we got was intuitive. And I think that's pretty important.
Yeah. And that also kind of falls in with
the personable thing, maybe.
Yeah, it definitely
Like
falls in
reading.
with the personable thing. I think it's just honing in on the more specific part about reading people.
Right.
And like, even if someone's not saying something, to
feel that
try to
energy
understand what they're really thinking or feeling, What do you think about that?
I agree. I do. I agree. I feel like, especially if you're someone, like most days anytime I was on set, like I was pretty happy-go-lucky. So if I was feeling like scene partner was feeling off or someone was feeling off, to kind of like, whether energetically or going out of your way to create a space for them to kind of be like, hey, it's okay. Like, we're here together. Like, let's make the best of it. Like, create a space that's like, I know we might not even know each other that well and we're about to do something very intimate. So like, what do you need from me to feel, better about this? Because I don't want you to do this and then freeze up or like, not get the pop shot. And
Yeah,
it can
absolutely.
just lead to, I feel like, if you're not intuitive or if you're not good at reading people and you're kind of just in your own world, then it's not, I don't know, it's always a team effort creating anything.
Absolutely. And then even in smaller, more specific, more intense moments, like at least from a male talent's perspective, it's like choosing those moments where you're like, okay, am I going to pick up the pace in this moment and like make it a little more intense or keep it a little less intense? It's like, you got to know when to pick up the intensity too, because if it's the wrong moment,
everyone's like, whoa, this rhythm just cut.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do. I do.
You hear a lot of stories.
Yeah.
So
no, exactly.
we all do.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, that is kind of the root of it each time is like, I think people just weren't communicating or there wasn't intimacy coordinator on set kind of overseeing or, communication got, who knows? A lot of times I'm like, I don't know what happened. This is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think we need to hear both sides out and and then figure out how we're going to do better in creating those environments for talent.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do our best.
Let's do our best. That's what I feel like what we always should be doing. Did you know when you were on set for Alive that it would lead to nominations?
I wouldn't say that I knew, but I had a feeling. I thought maybe. I mean, at the time, Ricky Greenwood was already kind of the hot director. He had won Grand Reel or Best Picture and Best Director like once or twice already the years previous. So, him and the crew were saying things here and there. And so I thought, I don't know, like regardless, I would have put the same amount of work into it,
For sure.
of effort, like as far as my commitment to the performance. And we made an original song for it and we really put a lot into that too. But yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of that energy there where it was kind of like, oh, well, this could be one of the contenders, for like an AVN movie. And I knew since it was Ricky with the ball he had rolling that there was a chance. So of course, a part of me was like, well, wouldn't that be sweet? Because if it did happen, it would be my first big win for something.
Right.
And then it happened. So that was pretty crazy.
It's kind of awesome too, because I mean, Ricky's great at, I feel like, creating projects where talent get to showcase their other
A
talents.
bit of themselves.
Yeah. So,
which I noticed his
Yeah.
other movie that was nominated for a lot was yours, right?
yeah.
Amuse-Bouche, is that how you say it?
Amuse-Bouche, yes.
Yeah, and I saw it right away. I was like, oh, cooking movie,
Yeah.
like with Lumi. Like, it's the same type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
He let her be her.
I did not get to come up with. Actually, no. I don't think I came up with it. I think me, him, and Nathan came up with this sandwich dish. But I will say, like, yeah, it's cool. Like he gets to, or that he creates that kind of space.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. I didn't expect that you actually would have gotten to create like an original dish for it. Like I got to create an original song, but it was there, huh?
It was.
Yeah?
It was like there was a few scenes where me and Nathan were like actually like doing stuff, and I'm pretty sure we signed all the paperwork, but it's like hopefully no one gets hurt on set. We're playing with actual fire.
What, like a grease fire or something? Or
something.
What?
I was just like, I think everyone's good, but who knows?
Is Nathan Bronson also like a big cook, like a chef?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, especially before performing, and then I feel like have you done his like YouTube cooking thing at all?
No, I guess I've heard about that one
Yeah,
though, but no, I
okay.
haven't.
Yeah, he does like a little thing called Cooking with Nathan, I think. And
Well, it'd be funny if I was on there because I'm not a good cook.
he cooks usually. Usually, I think he cooks for the guest. So I think I was the first person he had on one time where we did this cooking challenge where we both cooked.
Ooh,
But
a cook-off.
We had a cook-off, but we could only create a dish with 5 random ingredients. I went Italian. I think he went I forget which dish I made, but I won. But anyways.
Ooh, baby.
But that was really fun. I was like,
that sounds fun.
So,
and different.
I'm like, I don't think he would try to put someone on the spot if they're not like trained like me and him. I think
that would
really
be a
mean.
very difficult challenge.
That'd be really
So,
mean. No. Same thing with me. I'm like, I don't think I would ever try to put someone in a position that they were uncomfortable, especially, I don't know. If I was going to teach them, that'd be one thing.
Yeah.
But if I'm not going to be like, let's go.
Like, show me what you got.
Yeah.
Dumb
And then
it.
just like on you.
Dummy. I mean,
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not trying to do that.
wasn't there a reality show where it was exactly like that? It's like, these are the ingredients you get. What can you do?
Whoa. Was there?
You didn't
I
you didn't
think,
watch that?
doesn't OnlyFans TV do that?
I don't know if OnlyFans TV does that, but that was a show.
Oh, it was a show, like a real show.
It was like
it
a
was
basket.
a big one.
You know,
one,
they
right?
had like,
Oh, that's fun.
yeah, there was like the basket was the secret ingredient. that
Was
they
it
had to do.
Chopped? Was that the
It
one?
might have been chopped. I'm
was
trying to think.
Okay.
So
Are we not supposed to talk about other shows on here?
We can.
yeah,
I don't care.
I'm bleeping
The
it out.
Simpsons.
I've talked about my love for South Park plenty of times.
Oh, excellent. Still going strong.
And
And I love how when you stay at a hotel, no matter what, it's always
South
on.
Park.
It's always on.
Comedy Central
No
is
matter what time it
always.
is.
I don't think they play anything else on Comedy Central anymore. It's just South Park or The Office, which I'm so down for.
Comfort shows for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what makes staying in like a Holiday Inn kind of
Okay.
cozy. Yeah. Exactly. You look like you want to say
Oh,
something.
no, sorry.
I thought you were.
I mean,
thought you
I
wanted
like
to
The
chime
Office.
in.
I'll chime in. I love The Office.
Oh, okay.
That's my contribution.
There you go.
Who's your favorite character?
I mean, it's got to be Dwight. I mean, I think he was like the best
Good
one.
choice. Good
Yeah.
choice.
Best character development.
Once those beets started selling well, the beet
Yeah.
from the beet farm.
I really wish that
He settled
spinoff
down.
took off.
Was there
Was there
supposed to
gonna
be
be
Yeah,
a
a
so
spinoff?
they did the pilot episode on The Office where it was where, you know, how they had all those famous people when he went back to the farm. And
Really?
it was like all his brothers and sisters were there and it was played by big actors.
No, I didn't know about
What?
this.
Yeah, so if you go and
That's
watch that
crazy.
episode with the funeral where he goes back to the farm, that was actually the pilot episode to
Whoa.
test out if they could do the spinoff.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Check that
good.
out.
Yeah, and there's like really famous people on there. It's such a good episode, and I don't know
Damn.
why it didn't take off.
Mm.
Well, okay. Noted.
Yeah.
There's a hair on the mic. My OCD.
Sorry.
Well, do you like Creed? I think he's my favorite character.
Oh, Creed's great. Yeah. What do you think about him? The fan theory that he might be the Scranton
The
Strangler.
Scranton Strangler?
Yeah.
I think so.
That would be great if it's
I
true.
think there needs to be a spinoff on Creed. And like a prequel of him being a Grand Strangler.
That'd be funny. What do you think about have you been following the news about the spinoff for The Office?
No.
So it's set, if they're not remaking The Office, it's set in the same universe. So it's like the same documentary team,
Right.
but they're following a newspaper company.
Interesting.
And then some of the characters will randomly show up.
Okay.
So it's
paper.
Yeah.
So it's like a very loose spinoff, just the same universe.
Yeah, it's like, it's supposed to be the same documentary crew. And
kind
then
of
now
like
they're
Cleveland and Family Guy. Yeah.
I would say it like that, yeah. Which I think that's the only way. You can't just recreate The Office. Like it wouldn't work.
No.
Yeah.
Without Michael Scott? No.
I love Michael Scott.
Yeah.
What impact do you want to leave on adult entertainment industry? That's
well,
a big question.
I hope I've already made it by now.
Yeah.
16 years is a long time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You still look so young.
You do look really young. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Were you, because I'm like, did you get in fresh 18 or were you, no?
No. Well, it's funny. I didn't really start
Don't want to
hearing.
expose your age. Sorry.
No. We can talk about how old I am. I feel like when I turned about 32, people started telling me I look young for my age, but I just turned 40. So So yeah, I mean, I got in when I was like 24.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I got in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same age.
Yeah. 24.
Cool. Yeah. Impact wise though, I don't know. That's not really. I guess I'm more about like a personal legacy. It's like when I pass, I would hope that people would remember me and look at like my full body of work, like everything I did in life, and perceive it more like that. Maybe that's more selfish.
No, I feel like that's. I mean, I like any honest answers, and I don't feel like that's selfish. I mean, for anyone who's creating, whether it's filming, directing, acting, adult.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we all kind of doing it to leave a mark and kind of leave a legacy or leave a name? And
I think some of us,
yeah.
Like
I definitely do.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I think in my case, it might be sort of might sort of correlate with like me being an artist or like an artist perspective. It's like, because like whenever I make like music or like write a book or something, I'm always thinking about like how that definitely has the power to outlive me as a human being. Yeah. And eventually you start to look at it like your body of work. And now I just kind of branch in all of my time in porn with that. It's like, okay, I put all this stuff out there in the world and the porn is included in that. It's just like media and art, et cetera, part of a legacy. But I hope along the way, somehow I inspire or influence someone in a positive way.
I think so. I think I feel like you're like a very creative and unique talent in the adult film world.
Thanks. I feel the same way about you. And I don't know why, but you have a very unique energy and personality, and it's been wonderful to know you and work with you.
Oh, ditto. Having a moment. What was family dinner like for you?
Like childhood family dinner?
Yeah. You're from Minnesota.
I'm from Minnesota. That's okay. That's funny, I guess.
Okay.
Well, my parents got divorced when I was 10.
Oh.
So family dinners prior to that was when my parents would fight the most.
Oh.
Was right before we would have dinner. Like,
awesome.
Like mom would come home from work, dad would be making dinner, and then she would get home and they'd start screaming at each other.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just the truth,
Yeah, no, for sure.
My dad always talked about himself like he was a really good cook. He wasn't bad, but looking back, it was like he only really made maybe like 4 or 5 dishes, and it was like, I appreciate his work, but I feel like he could have expanded a bit.
Yeah. I think most parents, especially in America, are just like, think of themselves as little chefs just because they're like, well, I fed my kid 4 days this week.
Yeah.
I cooked at home for a day. I mean, same with my mom. She didn't really branch out. She made good food. Like some good food. But yeah, so I get that where you're like, yeah, you're killing it.
Well, I mean, I'll have a lot of work to do myself because, like I said, I don't cook much. It's
You live in LA.
yeah. I mean, I like eating out a lot for dinner. I make, decent breakfast almost every day, but that's it. I don't really cook at all other than that, other than if I'm just making like pasta or something. But I feel like I have my work set in for me because when it is time to raise a family, I do believe that I need to cook for the family. So I'm confident that I will be a decent cook when it's time.
Yeah.
I just have this issue with time where when it's my life and I'm the person day to day, I'm like, I don't have time to fucking cook right now. I got to keep working on shit. I got art to make. I got work to do.
Yeah.
So I never cook.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have time to feed the mouths other than yourself, you go take some like courses.
Yeah, I mean, if I
hire Nathan Bronson, come to your house.
I have issues, I think nowadays, like you can learn almost anything with the internet from just YouTube tutorials and I mean, just following recipes and stuff, So I feel pretty confident, but we'll see. I did fuck up some just fucking chicken drummies like 6 months ago.
Nice.
Trying to be like, oh, I'll cook tonight, like for my girlfriend. And it was like classic case of like, this chicken is not cooked.
Oh no. Hopefully no one.
She was like,
sick.
Are you trying to kill me? No, we didn't eat it.
Oh, good. Yeah. She probably took one bite and you're like, that's not it.
Whoops. Sorry, babe. If you're watching this, I promise I wasn't trying to kill you.
Is there anything you miss about living in Minnesota?
Just my old best friends because they're all still there, Yeah. We just had I feel like, the friendships you form like in high school and around that age, it's like if you maintain those, it's like the type of bond you have with those people that's never going to change.
Yeah.
And you'll never have that again in a way. It's just something different when you're like still coming of age,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, I can go back home whenever I want, and it's usually like nothing's changed. And we used to spend a lot of time making these. My favorite thing to do back then, before I moved to LA, was make these really weird, often fucked up like short films. So that was like the part of my life that disappeared when I moved to LA, and that's like probably my main thing that's missing is making like strange sort of like art films.
And would you make them with those friends or other people?
We would be the core cast, and then I would try to wrangle outsiders in whenever I could to play different characters in small roles and stuff.
I love that.
So yeah, I guess that would be number one. Number two, the only other thing I would add is like there I always felt like, and I didn't realize it till I left, but once I left, it made me realize that I really, really had big fish in a small pond vibes. Cause I don't know. I used to feel like hot shit. What can I say?
Ooh.
Like in a good way, not like warm poop,
Yeah.
You guys knew what I meant.
Yeah.
Hey, you talk about poop all the time on
really
Twitter.
Do.
So I know really I can say it with you. You tweet about poop all the time.
I know. I'm a poopy girl. I was actually like almost tweeted the other day. Anytime I go back home, Humboldt just has like the best farm table food. I was having the most perfect, solid little like.
I told you she loves to talk about it.
I was like those where you wipe and nothing's there. You're like, you feel like you're God's favorite for.
Wow.
I felt like God's favorite because it was like a solid week of solid, good,
clean,
no smears.
It's like the 90s hardcore band, Good Clean Fun.
Good clean fun.
Good clean fun.
I think one of my favorite stories you've told is that how you got out of a contract because you tweeted out, "Oh, I just took a giant shit." And
I did. I
You
did.
really?
That's how I
Album
got out
contract
of
that
Who
way.
my,
let, which, I want to know who,
it was an agency that is no longer an agency.
someone who got in legal trouble? Was it that one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I had a feeling he
He's
would be the one to be
evil.
like,
He was
disgusting,
like- yeah.
disgusting.
He was
absolutely
like, our
not.
girls. Well, anytime he saw me, he had some issue with my image. And I was like, yeah, no, sorry, I'm not. I'm not.
You're not the type.
Yeah.
You should not be. Yeah. I'm glad
I was like,
glad
I
you
don't even
moved on
know
from that.
how I even got into that in the first place, but it was so funny that that's what got me out of the contract.
That's hilarious.
Because there were girls that were literally having to like take him to court to,
court,
try and
mhm,
get out of their
mhm.
contracts
Oh
or
my
like
God.
pay a $30,000 fee. And I was just like, I literally told every girl that wanted to get out of their contract, I was like, do something disgusting or tweet something that he would think is horrendous and then just tell him to fuck off. Because that's literally what I did.
I'm really glad you brought this up. This is legendary. I'm never gonna forget
Yeah.
this.
I literally just was trying to talk about pooping and he was like, no, like take that down. I was like, no.
And you're like,
you can
"No."
like go. I was like, unfollow me, weirdo. Like, why
Yeah.
are you even
I
up
stand
on
with my
stuff?
poop.
Yeah. I was like, I don't care about being a vixen angel. I will tweet about pooping till I die.
I'm a human being.
I'm
okay?
a human being and I want my fans to know I'm a girl that poops.
I guess he never read that book for babies. Everybody poops.
I know. I'm pretty sure he had kids. So I was like,
Well, I feel
we'll talk our shit when
I
the
feel
cameras
nervous
are.
for those children. I
know.
wish those children the best. For real.
Who did you get your musical taste from? Or were you?
I mean, obviously, it would start with my father because, you know, he was. Who else is inspiring you when you're like 5, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
why I'm like, or were you just left to find music on your own?
Yeah. So, I mean, it started there. I mean, we used to sit around watching a lot of music videos together, a lot of classic rock and stuff. He had a VHS tape where he recorded some of his favorite videos on it, which I ended up doing a lot back in the VHS era as well after that. But yeah, he got me into a lot of like classic rock and like, you know, from the Beatles to Queen to like stuff that's a little less known, like Uriah Heep and Jethro Tull and like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always liked that shit, but you know, you kind of move through phases through life. And so I ended up getting into a lot of other stuff and then kind of coming back around to that stuff in the last like 5 to 10 years. And I actually started a very early 70s inspired band during lockdown. During the pandemic.
Nice.
That's super inspired by all that stuff that I feel like my dad would have loved it, but he passed away in 2018, so he'll never get to hear it or see it. But yeah, that band is still going strong, and we got signed to a Norwegian label in 2023.
Ooh.
We're working on a 3rd album right now. The band is called Kimono. So
I've listened to that.
you have?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's
So-
good stuff, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's I'll stop there for now.
How did you meet your first bandmates?
Let's see. Well, my first legit band, once we actually figured out how to play music together, we started when I was 15.
Ooh.
It was pretty interesting. I was what I would refer to as a nu metal teen at the time. So I was listening to bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit and Slipknot and, you know, like painting my nails black and like writing lyrics on my hands and in my notebook and shit. But then I discovered the hardcore scene and like more like death metal and like other types of metal, like more metal.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like 3 other kids I went to high school with, and we were all on the same trajectory. We were all nu metal kids, and then all of a sudden we were very inspired by this new, fresher forms of metal and hardcore. And then we were friends with an older dude who was out of high school, who was very popular in the hardcore scene, but he lived in our city. And then my friend's manager at a record store was even older, but he was a really good drummer. And we all came together to start this metalcore band. And it fucking exploded right away. It was like from the first show, it was super electric. I was the baby in the band, but like that first show like changed my life forever. So I saw the power of what, you know, I don't know, a band that people are feeling, the power that you can get out of people and from the show and then outside of the show, like in reality. And I instantly just became addicted. I was just like, okay, like this is like, I didn't know it at the time, but it's like, I've never been able to stop playing music or making music since then, because nothing has ever matched the power and just the fulfillment that I experienced from that first band, which lasted for 5 years from age 15 to 20. So yeah.
Awesome. When it comes to performance, I guess I'm curious what feelings you have as a male performer and adult versus being a performer on a stage. Like which one how do those correlate, or I guess also how are they different?
They're extremely different.
Because they're both such like extreme things. I feel like, especially for other people, like a civilian, like for me, getting on stage sounds way scarier, but for someone who's on stage all the time, they're like, how you guys get naked in front of all these people. So.
Yeah. It's like people might think that there are more similarities between the two, but it's mostly extreme differences. I mean, they are two very different types of subculture, I would say. But the main differences are, you know, when you're making music, you're experiencing the people who are taking something from it, who are like feeling something from it, you're getting to experience that with them. Because at the show, you're seeing them, they're all there, you're feeling it, you're looking at them, you know, they're part of it. And if it's not that, if they're enjoying records at home, well, I guess that part could be comparable, because when you get comments about people liking a track or a record, that's comparable to just fans, I suppose, sending you a message, you know, like, wow, I really love this scene you did, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess the main difference is like when you're shooting a scene, you know, you don't have like that type of audience, the people who are there to enjoy it, which would be people who are
That's true. I guess, yeah, it's a little different.
Are almost never there, you know?
Yeah.
So instead,
for sure.
But the thing I do like about that is like, that's not why I do. You know? I mean, it's great to think that people are getting off to it all over the world.
Right.
But I'm not there. Like, that's not what gets me off.
Right. You're not like, oh, like, all these people are jerking it to this scene right now.
Right. So it's nice to be able to go to work and still have a relatively intimate experience because I mean, that's the type of sex that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Is like I enjoy taking in someone's personality a little bit.
Yeah. I guess that's what I was more curious about, is like personally, like how does each one feel? Like performing versus performing.
Performing versus performing. Yeah. One is extremely intimate and one is not as intimate. One is for the people on the spot.
Yeah. What is a life event that shaped you?
Oh, well, I feel like my main answer was actually the same thing we just went over. It's like the first show I played with that band. I mean, it really set the course and the trajectory. Other than that, it's probably just seeing, you know, Britney Spears and Spice Girls' first music videos and just being like, these are the sexiest women I've ever seen. Like, how can I make my life more about sexy women?
Oh, and hell
then,
yeah.
And then I realized maybe it should be porn, you know? Putting the women on a pedestal, but also, you know, getting to be a part of that, you know?
Ooh, I like that answer. What is something new you've learned about yourself in the past year or so?
In the past year or so, wow. Well, I guess I would say I've done a lot in my life. I've lived hedonistically a lot in the past, and I've done a lot of partying, and I've done a lot of living for myself. And I feel like I'm relatively ready to start letting go of that. So, you know, some people might call that settling down. So I think that I'm on that path for the first time right now.
Yeah.
And I think I've been getting there in the last couple of years. And I just got 2 new kittens. And that could be the beginning of a little family.
Yeah.
With me and my girlfriend and 2 kittens.
That's a great family. It's a great size to start with.
What are their names?
Sumo and Mika.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I the only one that always I also always give cats like Japanese
names?
I'm like, oh no. And I know not all cats are Japanese, but they are in my head.
And so they can go on the road with kimono, right?
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be good. Yeah.
Like any cat, I've helped name a few friends' cats, and I always name them after Studio
Japanese?
Ghibli characters.
That's so funny.
Like
we were going through Studio Ghibli characters.
Yeah.
But like because I've already known I wanted a little cat named Sumo for like
That's
10
cute.
years.
That's a cute name.
But then we were
I
like,
that
okay,
name.
what's going to go with Sumo? And we were looking through Ghibli characters, but none of them quite hit. So then we just went with Mika.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
done Ponyo and then Mononoke.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I love Ponyo. I was thinking about that too. Damn.
Sumo and Ponyo would have been cute.
Yeah. I keep meeting.
Maybe if you get more cats.
And it's funny. I keep talking to, because I've literally only had these cats for 2 weeks. And in the last 2 weeks, I've talked to multiple people who have Japanese named cats. So I'm like, wow, this is becoming a really trendy thing with white folks, I guess.
I don't know. It's just cats are so like,
They have that energy, I think.
they have that energy. And also when you go to Japan, you know, they have the little statues.
You've been?
And there's, have you?
I'm going for the first time around November 1st. Yeah. It's like,
That's
it's
a
always,
good time.
It's always been my number one destination. So since I just turned 40, I'm like, all right, this is the time, gotta hit it now.
Yeah.
Making money, no kids yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta fly free,
Exactly. Are you and your partner going?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. We're going to Japan and to Vietnam.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, those are good spots. I haven't done Vietnam yet, but Japan was incredible.
I can't wait.
Like you can't have a bad food experience in Japan. You can try, but
Asian food is definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the best. And it's just so clean. And you just feel, I don't know, I mean,
safe.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's what I hear from a lot of women too.
I'm like, as a tall man, you're good, but
tall.
Like,
thank you.
I feel like you're
yeah.
I feel like you're built.
That probably helps. I've filled out over the years.
But yeah, being a man, I feel like, well, also, I mean, like I was average height there.
Oh, I could see that.
And you're not used to that.
Yeah.
Because you're like 5'3".
Yeah.
And he's a Japanese large.
So that's why I'm like, you walking around, you're going to be like, whoa.
That sounds fun.
So it feels very safe because I can see.
Wow. Magical.
Yeah. Were you going to say something?
No. I love listening about Japan. Okay. Yeah.
What are some unpopular food opinions that you have?
Unpopular food opinions. Yeah. Okay, an Arbys roast beef sandwich is one of the most delicious foods in the world.
100%. I don't think it's the most delicious food, but it's the best like fast food.
It's definitely the most underrated fast food place.
Yeah.
People are really afraid of it. They think it's disgusting. And a lot of people have never even tried it.
I've heard people be like, I think it's a money laundering front. I'm like, but it's a chain. What do you mean?
I mean, if it was, they would have kept that 5 for $5. You know, they wouldn't have need to.
I miss that.
Did you ever hear what they did for the Daily Show? Because Jon Stewart used to make fun of them all the time, and he would go like their slogan was like Arbys. Okay,
we've got the meats.
You know, and so after years of making fun of Arbys on his last season, they bought the every single commercial for one of his episodes.
Really?
So it was just Arby's every single commercial.
No way.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That's a really funny way to troll someone back.
Yeah.
That's like iconic.
That's a flex.
Yeah,
that's a very respectable flex.
Yeah. If I was Jon Stewart, I'd be like, all right, I gotta go eat Arby's now.
I think it's hilarious how many times they try to relate female anatomy to a roast beef sandwich. And it's like, oh, you mean delicious? I don't know what part.
Yeah.
That's what I always think. Yeah. Whenever I see that, I'm like, I'm thinking Arby's. Let's go.
Did you guys see You guys know how on SNL, well, I didn't know this was a thing, but Michael Che and Colin Jost will write jokes for each other for, I think, Christmas or something.
I think they do it almost every time they do Weekend Update. They write jokes
No,
for
this
each other.
this one's different because they're not allowed to read each other's jokes either, and it like usually is embarrassing as fuck for each other. Scarlett Johansson was on the episode, so Michael Che wrote some stuff and was like talking about how she just had a kid, and yeah, he mentioned that he was like, it's something like roast beef down there now, and it's just horrible because Colin Jost is like, I have to say the joke and I can't.
And he like didn't want to.
Didn't want to. And his
face.
wife is literally standing right there while he's talking about roast beef.
Bummer, man.
Or like, I think they literally show a picture of Arbys or something and then.
Classic.
Yeah.
When will it end?
I know. I'm fine with it. Mine's not necessarily roast beefy though, but I've had my fair share of going down on some roast beefy stuff, and I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just happy
All
to be
different
there.
shapes and sizes.
Just happy to be there.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
Same.
Yeah,
Blessing.
it's a blessing. That's why
It's a
I'm like
blessing to be by each.
all meat curtains are beautiful. Or slits. Anyways, what's your death row meal?
That's a great question.
Speaking of Arbys.
Damn. What would it be? It's probably going to be pretty cliche, but I would probably just go with a really epic sushi dinner.
That'd be nice. Some
Yeah.
omakase. Like
Yeah.
I'd make like a full sushi chef come in and do like omakase.
Yeah. Just give me every single specialty roll on the menu.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be good.
And a whole lot of sake. Put me on a sake IV
Yes.
until I die.
Yeah. You're like, actually, this is how you guys can kill me.
And then stuff me with seaweed salad and let someone eat me like foie gras.
Wow. This went deeper than I ever expected.
Since we were talking about fast food, have you heard of the Deathrow hack where for your last meal, you're supposed to ask for a McRib and a Shamrock Shake because they're never available at the same time? So you just get to keep.
that's
stay
so
alive.
funny.
Yeah, you just keep delaying it.
That's funny, but
That's
who the fuck would?
Deathrow hack.
Oh, wait, I get it. Because then you would actually stay alive forever.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's available that often. Okay, got it.
If you don't
Or
want to
like
die.
the McDonald's, what was that Rick and Morty episode about Szechuan sauce?
The Szechuan sauce, yeah.
How was
Wasn't that only available when like Mulan came out?
Yeah, it was when the original Mulan, and then
Yeah.
they did a Rick and Morty episode, and then
About
brought
it
it
and
back.
then it came back.
Did you guys try it, the Szechuan sauce?
I
Because
haven't.
it was sold out everywhere. Like you couldn't get it.
People hit it that hard, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you
Apparently-
just have to go to Chick-fil-A and get that Polynesian instead. Hey,
You're like a spokesperson for like
fast food for all fast food.
Um,
I like to talk about it maybe because I don't know. It's like fast food's like the underdog. It's like obviously
it's
obviously
American
they do.
staples.
Yeah, they do well financially, but you know, a lot of like cool hip people like to pretend like they don't
just
eat
gonna
it. You know,
Nobu.
so I'm rooting for that underdog, the underdog
Yeah.
of the food world. You know, fast food.
Underdog of the food world. No, I mean, we were talking about how eventually we want to like go do interviews with people that work at restaurants. And he was like, we should do one where we go to like a Michelin star restaurant and then like Olive Garden.
Fuck yeah, or
And then
Cheesecake
Arbys.
Factory. Yeah, or
Or
Wiener
forget-
Schnitzel. That'd be
Oh my
interesting.
God. Do they still wear like the same getup? The
I don't
hat?
know.
Good question.
I
I hope
know.
so.
That is a good question.
I
we got to
really
get
hope
away.
so.
If you work at Wiener Schnitzel, leave a comment.
We have to do like the interview in the getup
I mean,
the whole
your
time.
uniform.
Yeah.
Did you ever work at any just like shitty like fast food places or like food service, like
There wasn't-
low class food service?
No, I mean, there wasn't really anything like that where I grew up. Honestly, I grew up in such like a
Only
farm
fancy
to
shit.
table, like
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. And then when I moved to the Bay to start chefing, my goal was to just try to do like
Make money, go hard right away.
yeah, and kind
Mhm.
of do like higher end stuff.
Of course.
I don't know. Part of me wanted to do a little like thing one of these days, though, if I'm feeling bold and bored enough to see like if I include all the porn I did on like a resume and then go see if I get a job at like McDonald's.
All of it?
Yeah.
So your resume is gonna be like 100 pages long, just like every single scene listed.
Like I'll put like all the scenes, but then also have all my chef stuff right above it. And
it's gonna be like the script to Titanic.
They're gonna be like, "What is this?" And then I'm just gonna be like, "Can I work here?"
You're definitely getting hired at Subway, at least.
Yeah.
Depending on,
I just want to see who's.
It's a different
who's
foot
like,
long, but
if you're like super honest, like who would hire you? Because I also like never really changed my name, so when you look me up, like everything comes up.
I feel like you get a lot of interviews. Yeah.
Well, all you got to do is land on the place with the most perverted hiring manager.
That's not hard to figure out.
She's getting hired.
I'll think Chick-fil-A will have me just because they're good Christians.
Their values.
Yeah, their values.
They're like, so I see you're in the scene called gets hired at Arbys.
Gets hired at Arbys.
How should we finish the scene?
Oh my God.
I did an Arbys scene once.
Really?
Yeah, it was my idea. I played Arby himself.
Oh, nice.
I had the so Arbys has a merch store, and I bought the official Arbys hat from the merch store. So I'm wearing it in the scene. It was really stupid. I was just like Brendan McKenna was just playing like basically like a street walker. I was just like waiting for in the parking lot of the Hollywood one.
Oh my God.
And she was just walking. I just like offered her free Arbys. I was like, if you come home with me, you can have this for free.
That's hot.
And then she came over and
she was like, you can have this Arby's.
I did
who's got the meats? We've got the meats.
I did squirt a bunch of Arby's sauce all over her ass and just kind of lick it off. And then I think she was eating fries while I was hitting it from behind, but that was about it. And then I think I made a comment about horsey sauce at the end during the finale, but that was about it.
I think the title of this episode will be "We've Got the Meats."
Oh yeah, there's so many good titles. I kind of like I have to run it by you, but it would be so funny to title this episode "Everybody Poops." That's a pretty good one. But we got Chad Alva has the meats.
Chad Alva has the meats.
I would love that. And I did name the content scene "She's Got the Meats."
Hot.
Well, there we go. I think we got our episode title.
There we go. Do you guys have any producer questions for Mr. Chad Alva?
Prod me.
How often do you say that? Okay. I just had a question. Because you're mentioning your high school friends and everything.
Yeah.
Out of all of your friend group, do they think they would have like pegged you to be in this industry? Like, do they think like you were the one that really stood out to be? Oh,
they all knew from the fucking week they met me because I've been talking about it since I was like 14. Like I'm that type of person who was like, when I was about 14 or 15, I already saw the path. I was like, because I started talking to other dudes, I guess, even though they're kids at the time, you know, but like kind of getting people's perspectives on the possibility of this. Like, have you ever thought about doing like once you're old enough, like moving to California and doing porn? And once I realized that literally everyone was like, no. I was like, are y'all crazy that I'm going to do? Then there's room for me. I'm going, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy because my friend group was really different. We all just talked about that. That we're going to turn 18 and do porn.
No one was surprised when I told them I did
it. Really?
Including my mom.
Wow.
She was like, oh, well.
That also seems like a good thing because then there's not a lot of like intimidating, like anything for you to go through.
And no one was, and also no one was worried. They were like, we know you're someone that is, first of all, a strong person and like,
yeah, that's good.
Has like always kind of gone your own path.
Yeah.
So,
lovely.
We can edit this out because I can't remember if this was like an on-air thing, but didn't you say like your OF started as a travel fund?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
we could keep that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally still working at restaurants. And but I always was comfortable in front of the camera, being naked specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of like nude modeling photos. I was like, oh, I'll post these because can't post these on Instagram. So
yeah, I
posted them on OF and made like $1,000 in the first 10 hours of having an OnlyFans and was like my like feet for 8 hours at a restaurant and knew I didn't make that much in that
You're
time.
like,
So I was like, the math is telling me
to go
I should take my clothes off more. So.
And then what was the deal breaker when you decided to cross over into having sex?
Having sex. I was just like posting on Twitter, and then companies were like,
asking.
Yeah, they were like, "Are your boobs real?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You should shoot." It's like, I'll try anything once, and then
you gave it a try.
Yeah,
and you're like, I think I actually like this.
This is actually because I just, especially when you are on the other side, especially as women, because I do think men talk about porn a little more casually, but women, and even I was one of those people. I was like, wow, that must be like crazy, like thinking someone like Riley Reid must be so lost, and then you meet these people and you're like, wow, these are like some of the most intellectual and motivated people I've ever met, and are actually really smart with money, smarter than like any civilians I've met.
Yeah.
And became one of those people that was just like, I did it, and was like, oh, why do people think it's this like
dark,
seedy
corner of existence,
like,
or whatever?
There's just people jerking off in the corner. I'm like, it's crazy actually how professional everyone is.
Yeah.
And like directors and like people are making you sign things and do consent videos and like talk to your partner, show tests. I was just like, this is so professional, like more professional than some restaurant environments I've worked in. So,
I believe that.
Yeah.
So if you had fake tits, would that have been their deal breaker?
I don't think so. I think they were literally just going to be like, whatever her answer is, let's see what we can get.
That's just the door in.
Yeah.
Probably they were probably still in awe though, just when you said they were real.
Yeah.
I mean, because they are awe-striking.
Oh, thank you.
Do you is there something very specific you're excited about seeing in Japan? Japan is like my dream vacation. I was going to go there for my 30th, but that's exactly when COVID happened and it was shut down. And now I just can't believe it's like almost 4 years later. And then I just don't have the time.
Just keep saving up money. Just do it later, man.
Yeah.
It'll be for my 40th.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Closer,
exactly like I'm doing. I don't think there's one specific thing. It's more like a long list.
Yeah.
But there's I'm gonna hit Tokyo, but I'm also gonna hit Osaka and Kyoto. Yeah. And I even got another recommendation to go up about 2 or 3 hours northwest of Tokyo to this snow monkey zone. Where they're not afraid of people and they come up and interact with you and stuff. And I don't know, that sounds like a pretty mystical place to go. So looking forward to that. And I guess there's another town where the deer are supposed to be the same way.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that's called?
Nara.
That's it. Yeah. Where I guess the deer are just very they just come up to you and hang out with you and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean
that one's closer, I think, than the other place. I think because usually
closer.
I think people hit like they do like Osaka, Nara, Kyoto, and then like back around.
There you go. Yeah. So all that stuff, I would definitely like to try to meet a capybara. Never seen a capybara in person. So yeah, I guess a lot of animal related stuff comes to mind. There's something about Japanese animals. I mean, even talking about cats again. Like every time I see a video of a cat that is just like first of all, they seem more intelligent. They seem cuter. It's like, what is going on with this cat? How is this real? Every time it's a cat in Asia.
Yeah.
and I don't know what it is.
There's a lot of cat cafes. So 2 things I'm going to tell you that you should take my advice on. 1, go to anytime you see a cat cafe, just go inside. Okay. Second one, I know you're tatted up like me, probably even more than me. You are not allowed in onsens.
I know about this. There's only a few let you in with tattoos. Otherwise, you have to put bandages, right?
No, they won't even let me do that. In Kyoto, specifically though, because I think it's just older and more of an ancient city. So I think there is more like, no. But I've heard there are some tattoo-friendly onsens in Tokyo.
Yeah, so I've heard that too.
Go to Tokyo.
Might check one out. I mean, an onsen is basically kind of like a spa, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how drawn you are to doing that. So.
I'll probably do it because I think my girlfriend would love it.
It's very, girls.
Me,
I was upset. So.
Me personally, when I went to like Wii Spa for the first time in K-Town, I was like, this is it. I was like, it's mostly just saunas. I hate saunas. I hate feeling hot.
Oh yeah, then maybe not an onsen.
And then I went.
I think it's literally like kind of like a bathhouse.
Yeah. So there's only one cold sauna at Wii Spa, and it's basically just like walking into a walk-in cooler. And I literally sat in there the whole time, and I was like, wow, I really am Norwegian.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know. That was it.
I just wanted to add on one thing. When you said, I can't wait to meet a capybara, I don't know why I just imagined you going up to every animal and just being like, hey, I'm Chad.
Hey, I'm Chad.
Thank you. I'm glad that you took enough from this interview that you're seeing things like that in your head now. I like that.
I don't know if you knew this, and probably did, but in Japan, there's like a massive speakeasy scene.
Well, I do know about it's an area called the Golden Guy.
Yeah, I went there.
Is that what you were going to bring up?
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring up that specific. I was just in general, like, I don't like some of them are like you have to like watch a video on how to get in because it's like it's like a vending machine.
I went to one that was like a soda machine, and then you open it. And then you go downstairs.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There's one. I wish I could.
It's not like a real address. It's like it'll give you like the cross streets and then be like, go to that specific.
Then you got to have the secret instructions.
You'll have to have that, thankfully, because then I would have been like, all right, I don't know the password. Sorry.
There's one, I can't remember the name that I really want to go to where there's no drink menu. The bartender just talks to you, and then based on that conversation, he'll make you a drink on what you think.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you just look up Japan like itinerary, you will find the coolest stuff just on Instagram and like the reels. Like people make such good, cool content. We'll be like, this is where the locals go. This is where, So
yeah,
I'm sure if you even just look that up, that will pop up.
My girlfriend's been watching so much of that kind of shit that like she'll ask me to come sit and watch it with her, and there'll be so much of it. I'll be like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But I've already formed an entire itinerary for Japan.
There you go.
She's doing Vietnam. Because Japan was my big spot. Vietnam was hers. Okay. So it's like, all right, I'll do this one. You do that one. Let's go.
Hell yeah. That's a great like way to operate with a partner and travel.
That. Totally.
Yeah.
It's me and my best friend's dream to buy a vacation home for our families in Japan. And we like watch videos on how to do it because they don't sell to foreigners. So you have to there's like real estate agencies that specialize in getting houses for Americans.
Yeah.
And then there's like a whole industry with like students. It's like a job where they just house sit for foreigners.
Yeah.
And it's like a totally like they treat the house well and they don't mess it up or anything. So we're so far away from making this a reality, but we watched so many videos on how to make that happen one day.
Nice.
Precious.
Hell yeah.
Okay, where can the fans find you?
So many places.
I'm like,
depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for the XXX stuff, follow me on Instagram at Chad Alva 1K or on Twitter at the Chad XXX.
Wow.
Of course, you can find me on many vids or OnlyFans as well.
OnlyFans.
Or my main site now that I started with all my content. It's called drdaddypov.com.
Ooh.
So if you're into that, if you're into subbing to XXX sites like old school subscription style, get on Dr. Daddy POV.
There you go. And you guys know where to find me. I'm Lumi Ray, and thank you so much, Chad, for joining us.
Yeah, let me add one more. If you're more interested in like my personal like art type stuff like music and literature and whatnot, follow me on Instagram at Fierce Dad, just spelled Fierce Dad.
Nice.
Like the words. Oh
yeah, and stream Kimono.
Yeah,
it's a great band.
Check it out.
All right, thank you.
Woo!